will be focusing on this very serious issue, the issue of the sitters in this country, the sitter boards, and the ministers' response to the questions that were posed by members of the Portfolio Committee on Education. There are calls for her to be dismissed. There are calls for her to be criminally charged because some among the members of the same Portfolio Committee are of the view that she lied under oath to a very large extent. And sitters are very important. I mean, I was reading an article yesterday on the Sunday Times on this particular issue. What part of it was talking about the overall budget of the sitters. And that article said combined the figure is 20 billion rands. I thought to myself, okay, no wonder. So it's high stakes issue, this issue, but the overall purpose demands, particularly given the landscape we find ourselves in, the economic landscape, the skills challenges that we face, that 20 billion rands combined should be used maximally in order to benefit the people of this country, particularly the young people. We go now to the chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Higher Education, that is Tebogo, Letsie, who held a press briefing today, I suppose on the same issue. Chair, good morning.
It's actually good afternoon, PK. How are you?
Good afternoon, man. How are you? How are you?
Very good. Good afternoon to your viewers, and thanks for it.
No, you are wide awake. You are wide. I was testing you. You are wide awake.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you this is how worrying for you, because it's becoming a worry for us as the citizenry of this country, because you would expect that the Department of Higher Education upholds very high standards, right? But even though every other department should, but and we are not accustomed to the Department of Higher Education to be embroiled in such to a very large extent. If you were to look back, so as the citizens of this country, there's a big of worry. I wonder if it tallies up that worry with yourselves as members of the Portfolio Committee, irrespective of political affiliation.
No. Thank you very much. Even though I don't know what is the worry precisely, but I think if the worry is about what is happening at the sitters, I think we all agree.
No, that's a big worry, because they play a big role, and when the people are appointed, and then the reversal, and then all of that, then it creates a worry, Chair.
No, of course. So the appointment and the withdrawal of the accounting authorities, chairpersons of sitters, has worried us a lot. You'll remember that we met with the department actually on the 12th of March, asking them to give us progress on how far are they in appointing the accounting authority chairpersons, and they gave us an indication that everything is on track. We met them again on the 4th. No, we did not meet them on the 14th. We discussed on the 14th after there was a leak. We then agreed as a committee that we are going to put that matter aside, bring the minister who has the legislative responsibility to appoint. We met with her on the 30th of May, and that's where we are. We had the problem with the panel, independent panel that she put, which she wrote to us on the 17th, and we believe that there's a question to answer on the independence of that independent panel, because we don't think staff members and people in the office are independent from her. That is where we are at. But we are very worried. I mean, it's been 3 months. The CEOs of these sitters are now acting as chairpersons or AAs. So they are reporting to themselves for the past 3 months. It's a big governance worry for us, but we are hoping that on the 3rd of July, the gazette or the advert of the chairpersons will close, and the matter will be resolved as soon as possible.
Yeah, yeah. What about those that are supposedly members of this independent panel? Have you called them, and if so, when, so that they can either deny or confirm that indeed they were part of it?
Yeah, I've written to them last week, Thursday, on the 21st of, on the 20th, but earlier than that, 19th. On the 19th, I wrote them on the 19th of June, after a resolution was taken by the committee that we must invite them to a meeting. But because we don't have a date as yet, we're still trying to look for a date. It's a very, very busy period in Parliament. It's a APP period, which we must do because we must debate, accept or reject the budget on the 3rd of July. So anything before that, it becomes a problem. So I've written to them and said to them they must give us written comments on what was their role, the minutes of the meetings, if any, to all 5 of them, which must be given to us by Wednesday, the 25th of June. So we've not received anything because the deadline has not passed.
Yeah.
We've also written to the minister that it is our intention to bring her and the department, the deputy ministers, plus the panelists to appear before us, want to ascertain.
Yeah.
When you open, you spoke about other things she lied in Parliament, so we want to ascertain whether she has misled Parliament or given us inaccurate information or lied to us. So they will be on record. We are still looking at what they said to us on the 30th of May, so that when we pose questions to them, we're able to cross-reference, and if indeed they've lied, we'll be able to go to the next stage, is to hold them accountable.
Yeah, I was watching the session last week when the Auditor General's office was appearing before yourselves. I was shocked. I really was shocked. You also made very interesting comments there about NFSAS, and you also made very interesting comments about some chap who's a regional chairperson who also happens to be the principal of Letaba, who was sending our children to go live in shacks. NSFAS, you raised the issue of NSFAS and how NSFAS has not necessarily changed despite the repeated attempts to resolve simple issues, and our children going through quite a lot. Your panel members also, committee members also raised very sharp issues. I mean, one of them was saying that the National Skills Fund did not spend 3 billion rands last year alone. Somebody else raised another issue that also shocked me. That there's no, what do you call this, SLAs, right? Which apparently are very important, but there seems to be a gap in all of that. When you look at all of those issues, I mean, what then do you do and say, and because it looks like the problems that have always been there, and yet there hasn't been any effort that is visible to try and resolve those issues.
Yeah. In addition to that, TK, there's also a problem of internationalization in the sector, and all of them leads to one
internationalization, meaning foreign nationals occupying key positions.
Yes.
Okay.
Occupying. I mean, we're shocked when the DDG, the Deputy Director General, the second highest in the department, said to us, there's nothing they can do when a university hires more foreigners in South Africa or in their institutions. Whereas there is somebody with South African who can do that particular job. They said there's nothing we can do because of which is wrong, because we had to remind them that in South Africa we've got laws. I mean, the Employment Service Act number 4 of 2014, Section 8, subsection 2, empowers or says the employers must satisfy themselves that there's no other person in the Republic with suitable skills to fill that particular vacancy. That is empowering to the DDG to say to a university, you can't do this. It's against the law. You can't hire somebody to be an admin black who's not a South African at your institution when South Africa has got so many people who can do that. That's what it means. We also have a framework, by the way, on higher education. Section 3.6.3, that says that, it speaks about initiatives to attract and retain international talent in the South African job market, including institutions of higher learning. 5.3.4, it says we must hire people from outside to attract international skills, which is okay. But 5.3.5, it says there can be no justification of any South African institution prioritizing and preferring foreign nationals to South Africans who qualify equally for the same post. So the biggest problem we have is that department. The department, I think, has been too relaxed, has allowed NSF to understand by 2.7 billion, allowed NSFAS not to submit financials, or they're behind by 2 years. It's only now that they are trying to cover. At TVET colleges not reaching their targets, teachers not having SLAs. It's the department, all of these things. And we said to them, the Director General must crack the whip in that department. And if he can't, he must tell us, as the CEO of any company, where you work, the power firm, if the CEO does not reach the targets that you're supposed to reach in a year, somebody must be held accountable. And it's only, now we said to the Minister, if the DG can't crack the whip there, you must crack the whip on the DG, because it can't be business as usual, that people don't reach their targets, people don't do their jobs, and then they complain, whereas the law says it's illegal for any institution or any entity in the country to have more than 10% of their staff complement being foreign nationals. It's law. It says so. The threshold is 10%. There are institutions with 14%. These institutions, South Africans attended these interviews, did very well. They are more qualified, but the institution choose our people from the diaspora. And we are not, we must not be confused to be xenophobic. We are not. But we are saying we've got laws. They must be followed to the letter. So the problem is that department. But we are going to hold them accountable. We are going to continue to hold them accountable so that they know what is it that they are supposed to do.
Got you. As always, we really appreciate your time.
Thanks, Tige.
Thank you so much. Tebogo, Letsie, the Chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Higher Education.